town of Pahalgam in the Kashmir region has witnessed a horrific armed attack that resulted in the death of 26 people, including local tourists, while they were visiting a famous natural resort. According to the testimonies of survivors, the attackers deliberately targeted men. Local authorities described the attack as one of the deadliest on civilians in recent years. The police department in Kashmir has published notices naming 3 suspected militants involved in the attack on tourists this week, in which 26 people were killed. According to Reuters, the notices said that the 2 or 3 suspected militants are Pakistani nationals. And the Indian Foreign Ministry added that India has suspended visa services to Pakistanis with immediate effect. The ministry also advised Indian nationals in Pakistan to return at the earliest. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has vowed to track down and hold those accountable for all responsible of the violent attack in Kashmir. In his first speech since the attack, Modi affirmed that India will identify the terrorists and those who support them, pursue them, and bring them to justice. The Indian government has announced the expulsion of Pakistani diplomats and the closure of the main border crossing between the two countries. It also decided to suspend the 1960 Indus Waters Treaty, downgrade diplomatic relations with Pakistan, and give migrants holding valid permits until May 1st to return through the crossing. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs has requested all Pakistani citizens residing in the country to leave before the end of April. The ministry specified that all Pakistani nationals currently in India must depart before their visa expiry dates, April 27th for regular visas and April 29th for medical visas. It also announced the immediate suspension of visa issuances for Pakistani citizens. And Pakistani government has declared the Indian naval and air defense advisors in Islamabad as a persona non grata and demanded that they leave the country. The government added that visas granted to Indian citizens will be cancelled except for Sikh pilgrims. Additionally, it announced the closure of the borders, the suspension of trade between the two countries, and the closure of its airspace to Indian airlines. Egypt has strongly condemned the terrorist attack that targeted tourists in Kashmir from various countries, resulting in dozens of civilian casualties and injuries. In a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Egypt's government and people expressed sincere condolences and heartfelt sympathy to the government and the people of India, as well as the families of the victims. Egypt affirmed its solidarity with India in confronting all forms of violence and terrorism aimed at undermining the country's security and stability. The United States has warned its citizens against traveling to the Indian-administered part of Kashmir or being within 10 kilometers of the India-Pakistani border. The U.S. Department of State stated that terrorist attacks and civil unrest are likely in the Kashmir region and therefore urged its citizens to avoid traveling to the area. The statement also advised American nationals to steer clear of areas within 10 kilometers of the India-Pakistan borders due to the risk of armed conflict.
In its current form, the department is bloated, bureaucratic, and unable to perform its...
The Saudi Ministry of Foreign Affairs has expressed the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's strongest condemnation of the terrorist attack that occurred in Jammu and Kashmir. Saudi Arabia reaffirmed its firm stance in rejecting all forms of violence, extremism, and the targeting of civilians. The ministry also extended condolences and sympathy to the families of the victims and to the government and people of the Republic of India.